What's up guys, it's me Pratima and today I'm going to be talking about the best TWS earbuds you can buy right now under 5,000 rupees. I know you've heard me say this a bunch of times before, but man, this is legit my favorite price segment to buy a brand new pair of earbuds. I think this is the perfect middle ground between affordable and high-end earbuds. You're getting a bunch of cool flagship features like active noise cancellation, spatial audio and all that, but you're not paying flagship money. And in this video, I will be talking about 7 of them across different categories. So keep in mind that the one that's perfect for you may not necessarily be the one that's on top. And if you stick around till the end, I will even give you a bonus recommendation that I think iPhone users are going to find particularly interesting. So let me kick things off with Samsung's Galaxy Buds FE. I know it launched for a pretty absurd price of around 10,000 rupees, but now that it is available for almost half the money, I definitely think it's a great pick. Especially to those with a Samsung phone, because the Buds FE has a bunch of features that don't work elsewhere. Even in terms of audio, it sounds best with a Samsung phone thanks to Samsung's own scalable codec. It can't stream lossless audio like other more expensive Galaxy Buds, but this guy is capable of stable connections and slightly higher bitrate audio than the default AAC and SBC codecs. And talking about sound, I found the Buds FE to have that typical budget tuning with a big emphasis on bass, while the mid-frequencies and the trebles take a backseat. What it means is that if your playlist mostly shuffles through Bollywood, pop, EDM and similar genres of music, then I bet you are going to love the Galaxy Buds FE. If that's not your vibe, then you might want to experiment with all the EQ options from the app. Although I should mention that there is no option to create custom equalizer here. I would have liked a slightly stronger water resistance than just IPX2, but considering everything else like its decent noise cancellation, battery life and call quality, the Galaxy Buds FE is a good choice under 5,000 rupees. Next, I have Sony's latest budget earbuds, the WF-C510. It's the successor to the beloved WF-C500. And I honestly was not expecting this much of an upgrade in the sound department. Because I remember how the C500 was all about sounding balanced with not much to look forward to in terms of bass. But this thing has plenty of bass for my ears, which is quite impressive since Sony isn't really using a massively larger driver this time. And the good thing is that unlike Samsung, Sony actually lets me EQ these earbuds however I want. Or I can tune it based on my hearing ability too. I also want to give a quick shout out to Sony's new Sound Connect app, by the way, which looks and feels a lot less congested than the old one. Other than this, the C510 now supports multi-point connection and something called ambient sound mode, which is like Sony's take on transparency mode. And while that's fantastic, I'm a little sad to see that Sony has not included noise cancellation here. And not to mention, I am not that fond of its call quality either. Now, the next pair of earbuds on my list is actually a lot similar to the Sony C510 as far as the audio quality is concerned. So this is JBL's Tune Buds 2, and this guy is all about the bass as well. Which means in folk, jazz, indie, rock, acoustic, soul, or any other type of music where the low frequency is not necessarily the highlight, it's going to sound a little off. Like in John Lennon's Beautiful Boy, for example, everything from the guitar strums to other high notes in the background is kind of overshadowed by that strong cloud of bass. And I also felt that natural timbre of John's voice to be a bit misrepresented by the Tune Buds too. I can easily recover some of that airiness and energy in the upper mids and treble region from the app. That's not a big deal. Whereas JBL also has a feature to personalize my audio, just like on those Sony earbuds. But the Tune Buds 2 somehow ended up sounding worse with a bloated bass response, so I have turned it off altogether. But at least it supports ANC, and I must say that it does a pretty good job at cutting out most of the environmental low frequency noises around me. And if you care all about long battery life, I bet you will love the Tune Buds 2 since this thing literally has the best battery life out of every other set of earbuds on my list. Likewise, the JBL Wave Buds 2 is another fantastic choice for under 5,000 rupees, and in a lot of ways, I feel like this is the exact opposite of the Tune Buds 2. If the Wave Buds 2 is Batman, then the Tune Buds 2 is Joker. If this guy's Spider-Man, then this guy's Venom. You get the idea. And the biggest, most noticeable difference is definitely in terms of their sound, because the Wavebuds 2 is probably the best budget earbuds I've seen with a slightly bright sound signature. It does not have a piercing, sibilant treble response, and neither is it completely flat in the bass department. The bass heads and those who want stronger noise cancellation should definitely go with this one. Although if it were up to me, I would pick the Wavebuds 2 any day of the week. The Wavebuds 2 is also some of the most comfortable pair of earbuds I've used. It's so tiny, so lightweight that it almost feels like nothing when I have it in my ears. The only concern that I have with these earbuds is that its charging case does not have a roof for some reason. The magnets holding the buds in place are quite strong really, but that's something you will need to keep in mind. Next up is the OnePlus Buds 3, and we're back to that mainstream sound with this thing. What I mean is that the Buds 3 brings the classic V-shaped or U-shaped signature with elevated low and high frequency sounds, while the mid-range gets noticeably repressed. And if you have been paying attention so far, you already know that this type of tuning works great for certain genres of music like electronic, hip-hop and such, but not so great for some other genres of music like classical, jazz, blues, acoustic, etc. The one thing I'd like to point out is that alongside the bass, the OnePlus Buds 3 preserves the details in the treble region quite well too, which is pretty rare for something with that V-shaped sound actually. Maybe that's because of its dual driver setup, including a separate woofer to handle the bass and a tweeter for the trebles. And using the golden sound feature from its app, I even got it to sound more open and add that perception of space between the vocals and all the instruments. There's also high-res playback support if you've got a phone that supports LHDC 5.0 codec. Its call quality is equally impressive, and this one also has the best noise cancellation out of all of the earbuds that I've talked so far. But if you want the absolute best ANC in the segment, well, that honor goes to the CMF Buds 2 Pro. Because once you set its noise cancellation to max, almost all the sound around you disappears just like that, especially the low frequency sounds. Noises like alarms, vehicle horns, or the one your colleague makes from aggressively typing on that mechanical keyboard still manage to sneak in to some degree, but yeah, the CMF Buds 2 Pro knows how to keep things quiet. As for the sound quality, I found that these CMF buds can sound quite nice after some tweaks. So the first thing you need to do is switch to the Dirac Optio equalizer, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but you will definitely want to enable spatial audio here since it makes the whole thing sound so much livelier and spacious. However, the CMF Buds 2 Pro's bass attack is still not as tight as I would have liked, and the vocals and the string instruments can still sound a bit off in certain types of songs, but I don't think that's something most people are going to notice anyway. Instead, I bet you are going to notice a bunch of its unique features like being able to talk to ChatGPT directly from the earbuds, or its multi-purpose charging case, which even has a rotating dial to control playback, volume levels and everything else. Alright, last but not the least, my top pick for the best wireless earbuds under 5,000 rupees is the... Alright, last but not the least, my top pick for the best wireless earbuds under 5,000 rupees is the Realme Buds Air 6 Pro. By the way, the new Buds Air 7 Pro is also launching pretty soon with a few upgrades like in terms of battery life, noise cancellation and a few AI tricks. And if that launches for around 5,000 rupees in India, you should consider getting that one instead. What I love the most about these earbuds is everything actually. Everything from its battery life to noise cancellation, transparency mode to call quality, and of course its audio itself is so good. And the Buds Air 6 Pro also has the widest soundstage out of every other pair of earbuds that I have here. That means it's got the best instrument separation to give you that sense of immersiveness in whatever you're listening to. This is something I clearly noticed in songs with a lot of dynamics like Led Zeppelin's rock classic Achilles' Last Stand. Besides tight bass and crisp trebles, I love how the Buds Air 6 Pro is among the few budget earbuds with a nice breathy mid-range. It's just so good. And for my bonus pick to iPhone users that I mentioned in the very beginning, that one's got to be the Beats Solo Buds. I've frequently seen this thing sell for less than 5,000 rupees, and although it does not have noise cancellation or any sort of IP rating, but what you get here is a tight integration in the Apple ecosystem with features like Find My and a nice listening experience with a sort of balanced, neutral tuning. It kind of reminds me of how Apple's AirPods sound, but with a narrower soundstage. Weirdly, its charging case does not even have a battery, but these earbuds themselves promise an impressive 18 hours of playback on full charge, so I am sure that's alright for most folks. So yeah, with everything that I've discussed so far, I hope you now have a clear idea about which pair of earbuds is the best for you. I am working on a similar budget earbuds buy guide video next, so if you want to support all that we do, please consider subscribing to our channel. Till then, I'm Pratima Adhikari and thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with the next video.